So that's Pascal's new beast. Yeah, 1,500 bucks. There is quite a bit to do on it. Like the rear tail light is completely mangled. Not even sure what that's off of. The wiring is all to be redone. We cleaned it up quite a bit now. We just have to get a tail light and most likely gonna add the fender back up so that we have a plate holder. Tires are not in bad shape, but they're the stock trail wings. Bearings are shot on both front and rear wheels. The front is done now. We've already replaced the front bearings, re-greased everything and put everything back together. The front tire was actually on backwards, so we ended up taking that off and switching it to the right rotational direction. Fender's a bit banged up, but with a bit of heat it'll come back to brand new. Like we tested it here and it's looking pretty good now. We're already done redoing all the wiring at the front too. We're going to end up doing the same headlight conversion as mine. I'm going to put a LED projection headlight on his too. We had to fix the signals because those were completely done too. The bars are not too bad. They were bent a bit, but we straightened them up, and until he gets a new set, these are going to stay. But I had leftover 1-inch risers from the V-Strom before, so that ended up fitting on there perfectly fine. They're just 1 inch up, not 1 inch up and back, but it's still a lot better than it was before. Drained the front brake fluid. Did brake fluid flush. So the front's done and the rear is done too. He will need new brake pads eventually, but they're probably at about 60% right now. The air box was full of fuel, so we ended up taking the filter out and cleaning everything up, which means the carburetor is next because the float's probably stuck open and it's leaking fuel. And it does smell like fuel in the oil, so we're going to have to drain the oil. I'm going to take the plugs out too, drop a bit of oil to relube the top of the cylinder, rebuild the carb. Otherwise though, the engine sounds really good. It was pulling really good. Stock exhaust. We have a rack on order. He's not going to do side luggage on his. He's just going to do top rack with a waterproof bag, and that's it, with a backpack. He's planning on getting a lot more aggressive tires so that when we go off-road they're a bit more capable. Oh, handguards on the way. Grips. It's also missing mirrors, so, well, that one's there, but it's very light and vibrating all the time. We're going to end up getting 2 new mirrors. Probably the ones with the ram mounts that are adjustable, so you can get them out of the way when you go off-road. The head stem bearing was also way over tightened, so we took the whole front end apart. Took the head stem bearings out and they were completely dry, so I ended up having to repack them with grease, put them back in, and retighten them properly so that the steering would move properly. So now it's nice and smooth, and retorqued the bolt holding everything together. That's supposed to be at 65 foot-pounds of torque, and we took it off by hand. So everything on this bike was loose. Most of the bolts that we did touch, they were coming off by hand. So we Loctite everything that we did put back on. There was bolts missing everywhere too, and there's still some probably missing, but we're going to go through the whole bike and make sure that it's ready for next season. The cam chain tensioner is also leaking a bit of oil, so we're going to take that off and put a new seal or a new gasket on. Check the valve clearances on both the intake and the exhaust. That I have to do on all 3 DRs. But yeah, a lot of fun.